Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Or if you're a new viewer, hi. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me today. So today's video is going to be a first impression and two looks on the Melt Cosmetics She's in Parties palette. This was a journey. So, if you guys want to watch that journey and see how I created these looks, keep on watching. Before we jump into this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button before you forget. It's okay, I'll wait a minute. Did you do it? Seriously, it's free. You literally pay nothing. Hit that subscribe button, become part of my little YouTube community. I would love to have you stick around. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm excited to play with this for a couple reasons. One, I don't have the original Melt stack, so I don't know, I never got to experience that stack. And it's one that I've wanted for a long time because I have green eyes and I feel like these tones will really complement my eye color. So they said they added some lighter tones in here. They added this lilac shade. It says 4 new plums have joined the scene. Now with 8 shades, we've added a lively lilac matte to perk things up. So this palette is $48 on the Melt website. I don't think it's available anywhere else yet. So this is going to be available on the Sephora website, but as of today is June 29th, it says coming soon, but it is still in stock on the Melt Cosmetics website if you're interested in picking this up. I will link it down below so you guys can find it. So anyway, I want to get to know this palette. I'm going to swatch it. I want to try to come up with 2 different eye looks. Whenever I am doing a first impressions on a new palette, I like to see how far I can push it. I like to see if I can come up with at least 2 really different eye looks with it. So that's what I'm going to be doing in this video. The only thing that I see that's negative so far, just upon first glance at this, is there's only 3 matte shadows in this entire palette. So, out of 8 shades, only 3 mattes. That could be a problem. But I don't want to judge it too harshly because I don't know yet. So, let's go ahead and swatch this palette, see what it looks like. Get all up close and personal. Alright, we have Skeleton Kiss. Oh, that's way different than I thought it was going to be like. I will tell you it's swatched very powdery. Very powdery. But it's got that duochrome quality to it. This is Strange Love. They just feel a little powdery, y'all. Oh, I hope that's not an indicator of how the rest of this is going to be. Next up is Total Immortal. That's pretty. This one is Last Caress. This one is called She's in Parties. What does that mean exactly? She's in parties. I'm not at any parties, I can tell you that. Alright, then we have Sleepwalk. Okay. Alright, this shade is the darkest of them all. This is Mean Streak. It's pretty dark. That's a nice rich eggplant shade, something like that. And then we have Lost Control. So that is the palette swatched out. I will tell you, just upon first impression, just upon the way these felt when I swatched them, the shimmers feel awful powdery. So I'm hoping they don't apply like that to the eyes, but you can only tell so much by swatching something. I like to do that just to show a comparison with the colors, what they would look like. But other than that, you really don't know how something's going to apply to the eyes until you put them on the eyes. So that's what I'm going to do. I do have the NARS eyeshadow base already laid down, so that's what I'm going to be blending this over top of. Alright, so I'm going to be taking the BK Beauty 202 brush. This is their fluffy blender brush. To buff the shade Total Immortal into my crease on this eyeball. So I ordered this palette on the 26th, so it got here in 3 days. That is super fast shipping, especially with everything that's going on in the world right now. I'm blown away by how quick it got here. I did get free priority shipping with this order. I'm going to take my Sonia G Blender Pro Brush just to build up that crease just a little bit more, but I still want it to be really diffused. It's a really beautiful lilac shade, I think. Okay, so to build that up just a little bit more and give it a little bit more depth, again, we only have the 3 mattes to work with in this palette, so to me, that's like a huge disadvantage. But I'm going to take the shade Last Caress, that's this matte here, just to give this a little bit more depth. Like, I really feel like with this palette, you can do something super soft. Like, I could leave it like this. I could throw either of these all over the lid and just call it a day. But I really want to try to work with as many colors as I can for this look. Okay, so now I'm going to take my Esom S33 brush. This is another, like, tapered blending brush. And I'm going to take the shade Last Caress, which is this one right here. And we're just going to start deepening up that crease area. Try not to look like I'm hunchbacked while I'm doing this. I'm just buffing that first shade back over top this transition area here, just to kind of smooth it out a little bit. Okay, so far, I think I've got it where I want it. Got you where I want you, baby. All right, I'm going to be a little bit ballsy, and I'm going to take the shade Main Streak. That's the really dark matte here. And we're going to start packing that on the outer corner. Okay, I'm going to go in with my Sonia G Worker Pro brush. I really like this one for packing color on that outer corner, because then I can turn it sideways and buff, you know, that color out. You guys will hear me say that a lot in my videos because it's true and it works. All right, so I'm going to just grab the tiniest bit of color and tap some of it off on the back of my hand because this is a very pigmented shade. I'm just going to really gently start building this shade up on that outer corner. I mean, so far I don't have any issues with the blending. It's all blending really nicely. I don't have any fallout yet underneath my eyes, and I shouldn't have said anything because now I'm going to get a bunch. But so far, so good. So this color builds up really nicely. Okay, so that's what we got so far. I'm going to take an even more dense brush. So this has no fluff to it. This is the Builder Pro. It's just a little bit more flat than the last one I used. And I'm going to use that to really lay down a little bit more of that pigment on that outer edge. We're getting super smoky and sultry with it. Okay, I don't know what the hell to do because I just don't know. Like, these shimmers are all really pretty dark. I'm going to take a little bit of Lost Control. That's the really, like, the darkest shimmer out here. And I'm going to use that to pack a little bit out here. And then I guess I'll put the lighter shimmer there. Is that too predictable? I feel like it is. So I'm going to use my finger because that's how I apply shimmer shadows. And let's just do it right here. It's a really beautiful shade. Part of me just wants to drag that all over the lid, but I feel like it's going to be super dark if I do that. Not that that's a bad thing. Starting to finally get some fallout. Had to open my big mouth. Ooh, she's smoky. Okay, and now I'm going to take the shade Strange Love, which is this really beautiful, like, light purple shade here, this light lilac-y shimmer. And we're going to use that to drag on the inner portion of my lid. Let's go ahead and just try using a brush first, just to see what happens. I'm going to take my, I don't know what brush number this is, but this was from Alamar Cosmetics. I'm using my finger. Is it sheer? So that shade Strange Love, I thought it was going to be more pigmented, but it's not. I feel like that's more like a topper shade. Did it look like that when I swatched it? Yeah, I'm just a dumbass and didn't think about it. I don't know how I feel about that, guys. I mean, it's not awful. It's just not giving me the effect that I was hoping for. It's just, it's lacking something. I don't know. Like, it's lacking depth for me. I'm going to attempt to put the shade Skeleton Kiss over top of that shimmer. I don't know. It's not my least favorite eye look, but it's also nothing like revolutionary. Next time I will be doing my eyes first. I mean, I wanted dark and sultry. I got it. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to smoke out some of those colors on the lower lash line, and then we'll move on to the other eye. It's not my favorite. It's not my favorite eye look, and I'm just being 100% honest with you. I like, and it's probably just me because I'm very particular with my preferences with eyeshadows, well, with eyeshadow looks, but I like to have a lot of like contrast on my eyes. I like there to be a really bright shade here, a lot of depth out here, and I just feel like it's kind of hard to do that with this palette because the two lighter shades that we have that are shimmers, they're both topper shades. And then we have like a matte lilac purple. So you really can't, you just really can't unless you make that inner portion matte, which I guess I could have done. Maybe I should have done that. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and throw some mascara on, and then we will move over to the other eye and we'll see what we can create, you know, on that eye. Gosh, doesn't that really make a huge difference on my eyes? I don't hate it. I think it's growing on me a little bit more as I'm wearing it. I wonder if this is like a standalone palette for me. I wonder if, like, if I'll have to dip into other palettes to come up with eye looks that I'm really proud of or that I really like. I just don't feel like I'm going to be able to get a whole lot of different looks with this one palette. So I went ahead and threw on the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Crybaby in my lower waterline. I just feel like it really helps my eye pop a little bit. I don't know what else to do other than buff Total Immortal in my crease again. It's the lightest purple shade, the lightest matte shade. I'm going to use my classic crease brush from Sonia G. The quality isn't bad. I just wonder if maybe we could have replaced one of the darker shimmer shades with like a lighter shimmer shade that was opaque and not a topper shade. This one was really dark and smoky, and I'm wondering if I can't do something a little more toned. Whoops. I'm wondering if I can do something a little bit more toned down on the other side. Okay, I think I have an idea. So I just took a little bit of my NYX Multitasker Mixing Medium, which is kind of like, I use it like a glitter glue because it works really well for that. And you shouldn't have to do that to make a palette work, but I do use this in like my everyday makeup wear anyway, when I'm adding shimmers and whatnot, just because it adds that wow factor. It takes any shimmer to like the next level. So I'm going to work with the shades She's in Parties on the outside edge here. And then I'm going to put the lighter shimmer shade, I'm going to put that on, but I'm going to use it with my mixing medium. And I think if I do that, it's going to give me a lot more payoff. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip between Mean Streak and Total Immortal. That's the lightest shade and the darkest shade. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I really don't. Coming up with a custom shade here. Now, here's the thing. I'm not a makeup artist. I'm not somebody that has a super creative eye when it comes to different eye looks and whatnot. I just don't have that knack for creativity when it comes to eye looks. So other people may be able to look at this and go, oh my gosh, there's so many different looks I can do with this. But I just don't have that. And for the everyday consumer, the everyday person that wears eyeshadow, I don't think that they're going to, I don't know. I guess I shouldn't say that because I just don't know. It's not that I'm having a difficult time with this palette because I'm not. It's good quality. I just don't like, I don't know. I don't know about these tones. Just they're way too similar and then not enough depth. Okay. All right, now I'm going to take She's in Parties and I'm going to start packing that on the outer edge there. So again, that's this one here. I just feel like this color, I don't know, man. It's a totally different tone than the other shades. All right. Now I'm going to take that NYX Multitasker Mixing Medium. I'm going to take my Morphe M124. This is just like a flat concealer brush. We're going to go ahead and lay down that mixing medium. Let's see what happens here. Definitely a different eye look than the other side. I still don't feel like the outside is the right tone. I don't feel like the transition area is the right tone for that She's in Party shade. And there's really nothing else I can use to build that up. Is it just me? I don't hate it. I just don't know how well it works together. You guys will have to let me know down below. What do you think about the eye looks? Do you feel like this color story is cohesive enough? All right, now I'm going to go ahead and smoke out, like, what do I even use? I'm going to use the She's in Party shade, the shimmer shade. I'm going to put that on my lower waterline. I don't usually do that. I don't really want to do that, but I don't feel like I have the right tone to put down there. I don't know how I feel about a shiny under eye. Alright, I'm going to hop off camera. I'm going to curl my lashes, throw the same mascara on the top and bottom. For the top, I use the Benefit Roller Lash. For the bottom, I use the Essence Lash Princess waterproof version. That way it doesn't smear and smudge. And then I'll come back and give you guys my thoughts on this palette. Alright guys, so these are the finished eye looks. The only other thing that I did on this side, I took the LA Girl gel liner in the shade Whiten for my lower waterline. I didn't use the same liner. And that's it. Do you like the way that it turned out? I don't dislike it. I don't hate the way that the eye looks turned out. I have some thoughts. Again, this is a first impression, so it's not like I've sat down and played with this 10 to 15 times, so I don't really have an entire review to give you. I can just tell you from this experience, I just had a difficult time coming up with eye looks because of the lack of depth within the matte shades, and also the lack of, lighter shimmers that I could use that weren't toppers. I still am excited to have it. I feel like this is, for me, it's just not a standalone palette for me. I feel like this is something that, going forward in the future, when I pull this out to use it just in my everyday wear, I'm more than likely going to pull something else in with it to kind of spruce it up or to add to what's already in here. I really enjoy the eye looks that I created, but unless this is all I plan on doing with it, I don't really know what else I would create with this. So, again, this is just a first impressions. These are only 2 eye looks. I'm excited to use it in the future and see, how far I can push it. But I will say, just off of, my very first impression, this isn't my favorite melt palette. I would still have to say that the Gemini is my favorite melt palette, but I don't hate it. I am glad to have it. Are you guys planning on picking up this palette? If you are, let me know down below. I would love to hear from you guys. If you all like this video, please make sure you give it a big thumbs up. It helps my channel out so much, and I'm very grateful when you guys take the time to do that. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave today. Ring that notification bell, that way you don't miss any of my uploads, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.